Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast, special Wednesday edition. Now, I'm doing this on a Wednesday as opposed to Monday because today, if you're watching this on the 7th, was actually supposed to be the release date of my 2 new Keto Chow flavors. But because of a screw-up, an email went out from Keto Chow accidentally announcing my flavors last week. And as a result, I've just had to scramble to get all of my cooking videos out that use the 2 new flavors. And if you haven't heard, it's baked potato and cream of mushroom. Now, it's only been a week, and these 2 are already both half sold out. So if you've tried them and you like them, I would stock up because we might not see them again until autumn. And speaking of Keto Chow, this video podcast is brought to you in part by Keto Chow, the nutritionally complete meal replacement shake. That's totally my radio voice right there. Anyhow, I don't use it so often as a meal replacement as a snack. In a non-keto household, there are plenty of sweet temptations for me. And when I get a snack attack, I go to the fridge, have a couple of big gulps of some sweet Keto Chow flavor, and I'm satisfied. Now, my wife Terry works in surgery as a surgical nurse or tech, and very often she only gets like 5 or 10 minutes of a break. So for her, a Keto Chow is a perfect meal replacement shake. But if you're not into meal replacements and you enjoy cooking, get out onto the Keto Chow website and check out their recipes. They have 580 recipes out on their website. Now, to put that into perspective, that is just 20 less than 600. If you don't believe me, use a calculator. So whether you like Keto Chow for a snack, a meal replacement, or the foundation for recipes, Keto Chow's got you covered. And so do I. Down in the description below, I will include a link to Keto Chow that will get you 10% off your order. I'm going to start this podcast in a sort of non-keto place and a sort of dark place, but bear with me, it eventually comes to the light and it comes to keto. But if you don't feel like hearing some personal information, then you can always just use the chapter stops and skip ahead. But I back up all of my digital photos to a couple of different cloud services, including Microsoft OneDrive. And if you back up to OneDrive as well, you probably get the daily emails that are your memories from today. So it looks back over the years and compiles a bunch of pictures from that particular day. And this past week, the pictures that have been in there have not been great memories for me. So 6 years ago, this past week, the last week of January, the following things happened. I got laid off from GE. So after almost 20 years at GE, I was unemployed and had to start collecting unemployment, which is a humbling experience. And there was a picture on my OneDrive it was the last picture I took at work, of me turning in my ID badge and my laptop and my key fob and my, I think, little desk sign. So there was that. Then a couple of days later, Courtney had to have a tonsillectomy, which isn't a horrible thing, except for the fact that now all of a sudden I'm on COBRA for insurance because I had gotten laid off. COBRA is basically your opportunity to continue your employer's crappy insurance policy for a whole lot of money. I think for me it was around $2,300 a month. And this was a high deductible insurance plan. So Courtney had her tonsils out and was back at home, and then woke up in the middle of the night, her first night home, bleeding from her throat. And we had to rush her to the hospital for an emergency surgery. So there was a picture in my OneDrive of Courtney in bed recovering. And that's, you never want to see your kids in pain. That's a very traumatic sort of experience for everybody. But also she had to spend 3 days in the hospital, and because I had a high deductible insurance plan, that cost me about $12,000 out of pocket. And I'm not so flush with cash that that's an easy pill for me to swallow. Now, interestingly, when we got home from dropping Courtney off for surgery, it was about 30 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. And we couldn't open our garage door. It was frozen shut. So we left my wife's car in the driveway. The next morning, she got up to go back to the hospital and found that her car had been broken into. The window had been smashed, and I don't know what they were looking for. Nothing was taken. Maybe they wanted to open the garage door and get into our house, but since the garage door was frozen, they couldn't. Anyhow, it was still like minus 25 Fahrenheit in the morning, and that is not window open sort of weather. So we had that going on. Then, as if it hasn't been enough, later in the day, the doorbell rings and there's this guy who he looks like a roadie for a Lynyrd Skynyrd band or something, long shaggy hair, thick mustache, and he's holding a blue envelope, which he hands to me and says, "You've been served." Terry and Connor were in a car accident about 3 years prior. They were coming home from swim practice, and there was just this sudden whiteout snowstorm. It came out of nowhere. I've never seen anything like it around here. I saw it once when I was in Buffalo, New York, but it went from just nothing to you couldn't see in front of you. And as my wife was driving home along this curvy country road, one of her tires went off the road, just off the shoulder a bit, and she overcorrected and hit an oncoming car. And now that woman was suing us. Actually, both her and her husband were suing us. She had a hairline fracture of her foot, and she was suing us for lost time as a substitute teacher and pain and suffering for, I think, $3 million. And her husband was suing us for $2 million for, I believe it was called alienation of affection. He was saying that his wife was no longer able to be physically intimate with him because her ankle hurt. So we were being sued for $5 million. Now, like I said, I didn't have $12,000 handy for a medical bill. I certainly didn't have $5 million. So this was the beginning of my 2018, and the year didn't get a whole lot better. It was the beginning of my downward spiral. And the reason I bring this up is because things worked out. Eventually, the lawsuit was settled for our max insurance liability, and so we had nothing out of pocket. We did have to get a new insurance company because they canceled us. But had this and a number of other events not happened in 2018 that really drove me to rock bottom in terms of my life, it was easily the worst year of my life. And in fact, you could have taken any couple of events and it probably still would have been the worst year of my life. But this is what led me, on the weekend after Thanksgiving, to have sort of a cross between a nervous breakdown and an epiphany that I needed to change my life. And the way I was going to start doing it was by improving my health, by changing the way I eat. And this eventually led me to keto, and then eventually led to serious keto. So had none of this stuff happened 6 years ago, last week, I wouldn't be here right now. And the reason I share this story, first off, I'm reading a book right now by Ryan Holiday called The Obstacle is the Way. It's about stoicism, and it's about how there's no easy path in life. It is always the obstacle. The obstacle is your path. And it's how we handle those obstacles that define us and define our character. So I wanted to just plug that book. I'll include a link for that down in the description below in case you're interested in it. Really short chapters. It's designed to kind of be read one chapter a day, so the chapters are like 4 to 6 pages long. And the other reason I share this is because I know that a great many of you found your way to keto because of an obstacle. Maybe it was a health problem. Maybe it was diabetes or pre-diabetes. Maybe it was inflammation, pain. Maybe it was just you were tired of carrying around a whole bunch of extra weight and wanted to feel better and younger and more fit, and hopefully as a result of these things, more happy. So just know, if you are ever in a tough place, there's an end. And it's a good end. And if you're ever in a tough place with keto, you've hit a stall, it's not working as well as you thought it would, the obstacle is the way. So hang in there. So moving on into more positive territory, I have done a number of giveaways. I think 7 different giveaways in the past week or so for my new Keto Chow flavors. And I'm going to keep doing giveaways because we've got some exciting events coming up here in the Serious Keto calendar. First off, in March, I will be hitting both my 56th birthday, but also the 5th anniversary, my 5th Ketoversary. So March 16th is the day that I decided I'm all in on keto. I'd been kind of playing around, figuring out, what I wanted to do in terms of a dietary lifestyle. But since March 16th of 2019, I have been keto. So that, I think, deserves some sort of big celebration giveaway. And I'll probably couple it with my birthday because that's March 17th. Also, we are getting really close to 300,000 subscribers. I suspect we're probably going to hit that March or April, and I plan on doing a big giveaway or multiple giveaways for that. So stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be fun. I got a lot of cool stuff to give away. One thing that I want to comment about, because I've gotten some comments. I always get comments in the videos about keto prices and people being concerned about keto prices. And I think I've explained sufficiently why keto products cost what they cost. But I will also sometimes get complaints about shipping. And I've kind of talked about this before. We're spoiled now by Amazon because we think we're getting free shipping with Amazon Prime, but we're really not. I mean, it's baked into the price. For the 3 packs of Aviate pasta or rice that you buy for $30, 12 to 14 of that is shipping. Just so you know, and now you know. But I had a viewer that she had gone to the Keto Chow site, and I think she said she had $60 worth of stuff in her cart. I don't know what their threshold is for free shipping. It might be $100. I don't know. But she said she saw the shipping was $10 and hit cancel. Now, I think when people are bothered by shipping, it's probably because they haven't shipped anything lately. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I've shipped a lot of stuff lately. This is a USPS small flat rate box. I can fit 6 packets of Keto Chow into one of these, and it costs $9.05 to ship within the US. I shipped one to Canada, $37. Shipping isn't cheap. And I don't think we can expect some of these companies to just absorb it. So please, please don't complain about shipping because it is what it is. It's not the manufacturer's fault. It's not like they're getting rich by adding shipping. They're just trying to cover their costs. So I hope that you can be understanding about that. People have been asking me, do you know what's going on with Perfect Keto? Their new owner, which was one of the original founders, I guess, sent out a lengthy email kind of explaining that he's trying to right the ship at Perfect Keto. And one of the last communications I got was that they were going to be eliminating some of their product lines, being more focused on being a supplement company. I don't know if that's still the case. I'm kind of the impression that one of the products that might be going away is the Beauty Plus Sleep Collagen, which is something I have been a big fan of. If that happens, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out some way to reverse engineer that, figure out what supplements that I can take, and then pass it on to you because I know a number of you are fans of that product as well. But I think what we're seeing right now is a little bit of a shakeup in the whole keto and low carb food market. And it's kind of sad because I know a lot of these companies, they are just, I call them mom and pop shops, but it's a couple of people, call it 2 guys in a garage or 2 gals in a garage or whatever combination you want, that have a passion for low carb and keto and want to share that by sharing the products that they've created, whether it's a bakery, a pasta, a shake, whatever it is. And it's hard. It's hard to be a small business, and it's especially hard to be a niche small business where your product is going to be expensive because your ingredients are going to be expensive. And as a result, there's a lot of keto companies that have either gone out of business or are kind of on the ropes right now. I fully appreciate that for some people, keto products are just not in their budget, these pre-made keto products, because they are expensive. They're not especially in my budget, except as an occasional treat, but I want to make sure that I am supporting these companies, so I buy from them. And I kind of consider myself like an angel investor in a way. And it's my hope that some of these companies, that perhaps if they can get enough traction, maybe they can start getting in some brick and mortar stores, get into some Walmarts, places like that where they can dramatically reduce their price because they're selling them a pallet at a time and they're not going through all of the supply chain and shipping and logistics stuff that adds to the price. That said, I never want you to feel like I'm trying to push pre-made keto products on you. I started this channel as a cooking channel, and I have a passion for cooking, but I recognize not all people do. Not all people, I say this time and time again, not all people have the time or energy or aptitude to make all their own food. And these keto products very often are the things that help them stay on keto. So that's why I do the reviews. I've mentioned it time and time again. You're probably sick of hearing it. You're probably also, after 5 days in a row, sick of seeing my Keto Chow videos. So the good news is, I'm going to be back now onto my regular schedule next week. We still have a bit of a weird thing this week because I'm doing the podcast on Wednesday, which means the product review video is going to push to Thursday. But Friday, I'll be back to cooking videos. And next Monday, we will be back to business as usual, the regular sort of Monday, Wednesday, Friday cadence. Monday podcast, Wednesday product review, Friday cooking video. I don't know why I had to think of it. I've only been doing this for 5 years. But that is going to be it for this podcast. As always, I thank you for your time. Thanks for tuning in on a Wednesday instead of a Monday. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.